Welcome to the Radical Audacity Podcast. I'm Tiffany Kane, your host. On this podcast, you are going to meet people that walk their own path, live life on their own terms, let go of other people's rules and expectations and the shoulds in life, and instead live life in their own truth, integrity, and authenticity. This podcast will give you the inspiration you need to live your own radically audacious life. Enjoy the episode. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Radical Audacity. I'm your host, Tiffany Kane, and I'm here today to talk to you about some things that are on my mind that I think will be important to you. One of those things is a really funny, oops, gotcha situation about myself. So I don't know if you listened to my episode a few episodes back where I was talking about empowerment and the word empowerment and exploring the word empowerment. It's a really important topic, and it's something that my understanding has shifted on and my viewpoint has shifted on. In a nutshell, in that episode on empowerment, I talked about why I think that the word empowerment is not being used quite correctly. When we say, I will empower you to do this, I will empower you to do that, it's as if the person saying, I will empower you, has the power and is granting you access to that power, which I think we all know really is not the role of a coach. The coach does not have the power over the person that they're coaching. The coach is more of a guide. The coach is somebody that helps hold up the mirror to the person so that they can see the power within themselves. The only person that can empower anybody else is the person. It's you. Like, you get to empower you, and you empower you by being inspired by people that are empowered, right? So it's this beautiful circle. So that is my understanding. And then I talked about the history of the word empowerment and women's history. It's a great episode. I'll link it in the show notes. But here's the thing, my friends. Here's the thing. This is a recent understanding, a newer understanding. As coaches, as human beings, we are going to learn. And when you know better, you do better, right? So when I started out coaching, I heard all of the other coaches saying, I will empower you to do this, and I empower you to do that. And so I thought, oh, I really like that word empower. Like it sounds so strong. Let's go with that. And I used it on my Instagram. I used it on my webpage. I used it all over. And I used it in my podcast description all over. And I've been doing a lot of soul searching on that recently. And like I said, I did that podcast episode. And so here's my big confession, I guess, my human moment. I am not great about checking in on my website. My Instagram and my Facebook are where I'm most active, maybe LinkedIn, Twitter, I'll check those. But my website, it's like, every, 4 or 6 months, I check on it. Is there something that needs to be updated? And then my website is just there as information. It's not really where I'm interacting with people. So I don't check in on it very much. And I had a funny situation where a very dear friend of mine just said, hey, I nominated you for this prestigious thing, and they need your website so that, we can get the ball rolling with this nomination. I was so grateful. I sent her my website information, hit send, and my website description popped up as soon as I hit send. And I realized that my website description says, I empower women to live a joyful life in their second act. What? I just started laughing. I did panic a little inside, like, oh my God, I totally forgot that that's on my website. I totally forgot. I've not looked at my website in so long. So it's my bad for not staying up on my website. But it's also just, I think, a really powerful example of how we grow and we learn and we shift And when we know better, we do better. So that's one of those examples. I quickly went in to my website and edited it to take that empower word out. But it might be somewhere else in some of my other materials. I don't know. I'm going to have to go through and look with a fine-tooth comb because I have shifted and changed and grown so much in the course of my coaching and in even just the last few months with all that I've learned and experienced. I love to be in a place of constant learning. So I would really love to know from you. Have you had a moment like this? Have you had a moment where you have this new understanding and you're all excited about it and you're sharing with everybody? And then you look back at some of your content and some of your material and you realize you're totally contradicting yourself. Am I the only one this happens to? I highly doubt it. The reason I tell you this story is for all of us to have compassion for ourselves as we're growing and we're learning. You do the best you can with the information that you have at the moment. And I want each of us to have so much love and compassion for ourselves with where you are at that moment, with saying, okay, all right, where I am right now, this is a great place. This is a powerful place. I also know that I am a learner and that I will keep learning and growing and exploring. And I know 4 months, 5 months, 6 months down the road, I'm probably going to be shifting some of my understanding. I'm going to be changing. I'm going to be growing. I hope that's what's happening. We are humans. That's what we're supposed to do, constantly grow and shift and expand and learn. And it actually is such a beautiful character trait if you can change your opinions, change your viewpoints. I think one of the biggest problems we have in the world right now is where we get so stuck on these belief systems that we have that we are unwilling to change. We are unwilling to shift. We are unwilling to move, to budge. We're unwilling to hear what other people have to say on the topic. And this can be politics. This can be religion. This can be cultural issues. This can be sexuality issues. Like you name it, feminist issues, you name it, it runs the gamut. We are so many times we get so entrenched in our belief system that we refuse to change and grow. And so even though it was a bit of a oopsie for me, I'm actually really glad it happened because it was this beautiful lesson to me of, wow, look at how much you've changed and grown since the last time you were on your website and you did any editing and updating on it. You've come to a new understanding of this word empower, and you now use it differently, and you're talking about it differently. And look at that. Isn't it wonderful? Now you can keep continuing and shifting and changing. And I'm really excited to see what new mindset shifts I'm going to have, what new understandings I'm going to have, what new belief systems are going to be shifted, altered, changed, burned to the ground. I don't know. I think back to who I was when I was growing up, where I was growing up, the time I was growing up, the environment I was growing up in. And there were so many things that I grew up with that I now don't believe anymore. There were so many deep religious beliefs that are so close-minded that I no longer believe anymore. With those religious beliefs came sexuality beliefs, and about homosexuality and same-sex marriage and all of those kinds of things that, I was taught to believe that homosexuality was a sin. And in your young mind, what you're taught to believe, well, that's the right thing. That's what my parents say. That's what the elders in the church say. Then it must be the right thing. And isn't it beautiful? Isn't it so incredibly beautiful that at 19 years old, I looked at this religion and I said, I'm not okay with this. I am not okay with what they're saying about people's sexuality and that people of this particular sexuality won't be able to make it into paradise. Isn't it beautiful that I can look back at that 19-year-old girl and see the power and the strength that she had to say, this religion is no longer serving me. This isn't where I fit. And I was able to pack up my car and leave my family and leave my friends and leave my way of life, because that religion, you guys have been with me a while. You've heard the story. And if you haven't, the religion I was a part of, it was truly, your religion is your life. The people in that religion is your family. Anybody outside of the religion, even if they're your blood family, they are not your family. And so I was raised in this very insulated, encapsulated mindset of, we are the only truly righteous people on the planet. We have the truth. We are the only ones that are going to be saved. It was such a self-righteous way of living, such a closed-minded way of living. And because it encapsulated my whole life, when I decided to leave, I literally lost everything. And I am so thankful that I was able to make that move and make that shift. It was terrifying. It was scary. I had the hubris of youth to say, well, figure it out as I go and pack up my car and move 3,000 miles away from Florida to California, and I'll figure it out. But that, to me, is the beauty of who we are as humans, is we can say, this mindset belief, this religious belief, this cultural belief, whatever it is no longer serving me, and I can shift and I can change. And I just love getting the reminders of how much we shift and change. And like I said, it can be within the course of just a few months that we change dramatically. So it was an oopsie. It was a little bit of a confession, but it was also a really exciting moment of, wow, I've changed in a short time. So I wanted to celebrate this with you guys. I also love being transparent and open and vulnerable with you. I am certainly so far from perfect. I love sharing these moments. Hopefully you got a good giggle. And I'd love to hear your moments. What are the things that you have shifted and changed on, that you've looked back and seen maybe content you created or something you wrote in your journal, or I don't know, something like that where you went, wow, look how much I have grown since that moment. I'd love to hear your stories. Please share them with me. The best way to reach me is on Instagram. I love it when you reach out in my DMs. I have so many lovely people that reach out and just leave me the most beautiful messages. I love it. It makes me feel so connected to you. So Instagram is a great way. DM me there. I'll have the links in the show notes. And if you have a desire to dig in a little bit more to shifting and changing and growing and being okay in that uncertainty and that uncomfortability, being comfortable in the uncomfortability, as my friend Nick Demos likes to say, I would love to work with you. I am starting a mastermind coaching program. It's very exciting. It will be very, very limited seats. I have people applying on the wait list right now. If you apply on the wait list, I will be giving you a one-on-one phone call so that we can connect and make sure that this is the right program for you. And then we're going to work together for 6 months. And it will be part one-on-one and part group coaching, because I truly believe the power comes from connecting with others and getting other mindset and other opinions. And if it sounds interesting to you, I would love to have you join the mastermind. So to do that, you fill out the application to get in on the wait list. And then you and I will have a connection call and see if it's the right place for you. The exciting thing about this 6-month mastermind is that at the end of it, you will also have the opportunity to join me at a beautiful retreat in a warm tropical location. Oh yeah. So if that sounds good to you, check out the show notes and click on the mastermind. And as always, it means so much to me when you share this podcast with a friend of yours so that they can find these words of inspiration, and hopefully it's words that help them find their own empowerment. I hope you have a beautiful day.